Hey guys, this is Chad. This is the week 15 research update. Wanted to do an update on vitamins and minerals. I know I've been talking about it for a while. I've had about 5 to 6 weeks of time to do some research, and I found a lot of really exciting things. One of the things that I came across when I was asked why are vitamins and minerals important is this. And I got this from when I was researching with Dr. Rhonda Patrick. These are your metabolic pathways, and there are literally thousands of them. They do everything from your heart pumping blood to your immune cells fighting off infection. This is what your metabolism looks like, and it runs your entire body. 22% of your metabolism requires micronutrients as a cofactor to function properly. Now, there are 30 essential vitamins and minerals, amino acids, and fatty acids that are important to take. So how do you know which ones to take? How do you know which ones to take together? How do you know whether or not you're getting enough? And all of that came down to what I'm about to talk about today. So it turns out in the research about 70% of the people are vitamin D deficient, 60% are vitamin E deficient, another 45% are deficient in magnesium, and 38% in calcium. So what the government did, what the FDA did, was they decided to set RDAs, recommended daily allowance. And then that moved into recommended daily intakes, adequate intakes, and upper limits. So it gets very confusing very fast. So knowing that you've got all of these thousands of metabolic pathways that have to have vitamins and minerals, how do you know what to take and when to take and how much? So one of the things I did was I came across a research study when I was actually in I was in one of the health food stores and found the University of California, Berkeley Supplements and Vitamins 2018, which I thought for sure was a reputable, it's UC Berkeley, right? One of the most reputable places you could go to get information on health. And one of the things that started happening as I was reading through this, I was starting to get very frustrated because on the previous research that I've done, I know that vitamins and minerals are important. And one of the things that I found in this write-up, specifically, and this is in the magazine, says, I quote, "Bottom line, there is little clinical research showing that vitamin E supplements are beneficial. In fact, the evidence is growing stronger that vitamin E supplementation might be harmful in some circumstances." Now, they did stuff like this throughout this entire magazine, which really frustrated me because the two most world-renowned scientists on vitamins and minerals and supplementation are Dr. Rhonda Patrick and Dr. Bruce Ames, both who work at UC Berkeley. So they didn't bother to ask the two foremost scientists anywhere in this magazine about any of these supplements because they would not have signed off on this. And I looked, they're not in here anywhere. Very upsetting. The other thing that I found in the research was about a year ago, the American Heart Association published a study that stated that coconut oil was bad for your health. And that was actually printed after they came out with the paper. It was printed in USA Today. Dr. Decker Weiss, who is a board-certified cardiologist, he sits on the board for the American Heart Association, flat out denies that fact. He said it was not only just not even a misprint, but it was just poor research. They didn't bother to ask the experts that sit on the board. He would have never, ever signed off on it. And as a matter of fact, he's actually posted a video with Thomas DeLauer talking about how flat out wrong it is. So unfortunately, what does happen is you do get research updates from what you think are going to be reputable sources that turn out to not be reputable information. So let's talk a little bit about it. I want to get into it. So I was doing some research with Dr. Mark Gordon. One of the things he talks about is bioavailability of the vitamins and minerals that you're taking. So is what you're taking, how much of that is your body actually absorbing? One of the things that he said, which I thought was really critical, he was talking about vitamin C specifically, and I want to show you this. So this is just an over-the-counter vitamin I've been buying for years, Spring Valley. I get it at Walmart. One of the problems is it's a hard pill. Okay, so if you see that, and I'll show you the same thing. Now this one's colored because it's got dyes in it. Zinc comes the same way most of the time. So like this zinc pill is a hard white pill. And the problem is because it's compact, there's other components in this that keep it together other than just the vitamin and the minerals. And so what Dr. Mark Gordon was saying is like with the vitamin C, which is supposed to be 500 milligrams, you're only absorbing about 19% of that, which means, let's call it 20%. So with one 500 milligram pill, you're actually getting 100 milligrams that your body can use. Now, there's a lot of other processes that come into the production of the vitamins and the manufacturing and what they go. I'm not going to get into all that today, but the way the vitamins and minerals are manufactured and produced plays a big role in the efficacy of the vitamin and whether or not you're going to get what they say you're getting on the vitamin. Now, the vitamin company's job is to sell vitamins. They're not going to bother to tell you what the bioavailability of that vitamin is. So just know that going into it. So one of the things I had to do was I wanted to research what are the best vitamins and minerals. So let's talk about the form. One of the most important forms to get, according to Dr. Mark Gordon, is to either get something in a powder form like this. So this B12 complex is in a powder form. It comes in a plastic capsule, and that is very bioavailable, and it's a good form to take. The other one is when we get into like this is a vitamin A, C, E, and selenium. My vitamin D is this way too. It's actually a liquid cap. So you want to get the vitamins either in liquid or in powder. Those are the most bioavailable for your body, and those are what you're going to get the most out of. Otherwise, you're just wasting your money. So a lot of people talk about vitamins and minerals and what they do and how beneficial they are. What they don't talk about is what brands to get, because that was the other big thing for me. Like I said, I've been buying this over-the-counter brand for years, thinking I'm getting what I need, what my body needs as far as vitamins and minerals. And what I found out when I went back to the researchers, I went back to the scientists that are actually doing the studies, Dr. Rhonda Patrick, Dr. Bruce Ames, so there's some other scientists in there as well. They all kind of agree that Swanson is a very legitimate brand. There's only 3 right now that anybody I could even find. Swanson's one. The other one is Synergy. They make a really good multivitamin. And then the third one is from a company called Thorne, Thorne. And these are the vitamins and minerals that the scientists use when they're doing metabolic studies on people or animals or whatever studies they're doing, because they are the best quality vitamins that you'll find on the market. So if you're buying something like this, a Spring Valley over the counter, you're probably wasting your money. What really upset me about the vitamin E article, because one of the things that your body has to have is essential fatty acids. So Dr. Rhonda Patrick loves the Nordic Naturals because of the way they actually process the omega-3 fatty acids. One of the things that you have to be aware of, though, with any kind of fatty acids is they do tend to turn rancid very quickly. They also decompose pretty quickly too. And so one of the things that she says is very important about vitamin E, which completely contradicts this study that was done by UC Berkeley, or at least the article that was done by UC Berkeley. When fish oils or fats turn rancid, they turn into mutagens, and those mutagens damage your DNA at the DNA level. And insensitive damage over 20, 30, 40 years is what creates a lot of the diseases that we see in our 40s, 50s, and 60s, because we've been taking stuff that is doing micro damage to our bodies. So vitamin E will actually keep fish oils from turning rancid. You have to be careful. You should keep these at a refrigerated temperature. Any of the water-soluble vitamins should be refrigerated as well. Those tend to turn pretty quickly. The fat-soluble, not so much, but the fat-soluble really depend on really how much body fat do you have, because a lot of that's getting stored in the body fat with the fat-soluble vitamins. So one of the things that is really important to do is to test yourself. How do you know if the vitamins and minerals you're taking are having a positive impact on your body? The only way to know is to get a test. There's some argument out there whether it should be a blood test or a hair follicle test. For the purposes of this video, let's just talk about blood tests, because that's what I do. And it's important to do a blood test, because at that point, then you'll know what is kind of in your blood, what's in your bloodstream, and how much is your body utilizing. One of the things that I found out, I have my blood tested every 6 months because I do take testosterone, and my doctor wants to make sure that my liver enzymes and everything else are working the way they are. One of the things I found out is I'm vitamin D deficient. I'm also extremely iron deficient. Now, the vitamin D deficiency happens to be a genetic polymorphism that I found out when I did Found My Fitness in 23andMe. So I know I have to take higher levels of vitamin D3 to the tune of 10,000 international units a day. And so because I've had my blood tested, I know that's where it needs to be. The other thing that most people usually need anywhere from 1,000 international units to 4,000 international units. I have to take 10,000. I happen to know that I am iron deficient as well. I have been for probably a year. So I now take a time release iron supplement, so that there are some vitamins that you have to take in conjunction with one another. They work better taken together. There are also other vitamins and minerals that conflict with each other. So certain vitamins and minerals will inhibit the ability of other vitamins and minerals to be uptaken. So one of the things you really should do, take a multivitamin. If you're not sure, take a multivitamin, multimineral, do it for 30 days and then go get tested. That way you can get a baseline, you know where you're at. I even suggest getting tested now so you know what your baseline is, because you may not need all the vitamins and minerals that other people need. So have a test done, and then you'll know where you stand. Once you know where you stand, then you know what you need to supplement with that's extra, kind of above and beyond a multivitamin, multimineral. So that's pretty much it. It's, it gets really, really complicated really fast. And the bottom line, all the experts that I had to go back to, I just finally went back to the scientists to see what they said. They're all saying take a multivitamin, multimineral, get tested, see where your levels are at, and then go from there. That's pretty much it for this update for now. And stay healthy, keep life simple, and we'll see you soon. Thanks.